Louisiana is one of my favorite places to visit. I'm hoping I can get back there to visit this year. But thank you guys for sending me this story. I did look into it. Very difficult story to talk about, but I promise you, beautiful little baby. These babies need a voice because I promise you, if channels in the true crime community and places like Law and Crime and some of these other outlets didn't talk about these stories or the news didn't catch them, there is so many children that are going by the wayside and their names will never be known. Who they were will never be known if nobody talks about it. And I think that before we go praising celebrities and digging all up in their business and knowing what they got going on, let's put some respect on our babies, okay? And make sure that we always give our babies a voice. Before we get into this, let me give you a disclaimer. I do not want to offend you if I use bad language. This is intended for mature audiences. Mommy of three, let's get it.
Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, new website articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer.
And I'm getting this story, of course, from one of my reliable sources, which is people.com. So shout out to them. Of course, Law and Crime talked about this, so shout out to them as well. Two Louisiana parents are in custody after they were accused of killing their 2-month-old infant. I want you guys to take a look because I got a pretty clear picture of their faces. Just take a look at this and y'all tell me, how old do you think that they are? Just if you had to judge a book by its cover, right? These two idiots, these two bitches, sorry. These two young parents, how old do you think they are? I know they might look like they're in their 40s and 50s in the face, right? Because sometimes life can just put its foot up your rear end. How old do y'all think they are? They have a 2-month-old kid, and this is going to go back to the point that I've been making for a while. The Opelousas Police Department said it arrested the mother of the infant after the 2-month-old girl was found not breathing on October the 25th. The infant was taken to the hospital and was later pronounced dead. The police said that the girl suffered serious injuries, including broken rib bones, broken ribs, and a severed lower spine, while also showing signs of extreme dehydration and malnutrition. Hopefully everybody catches that. I don't want to have to read that again. And y'all are absolutely right about the age. I'm going to give you the direct age here in a second. Y'all are right. Investigators say that they determined that the infant's parents, by the name of Kaylee and Taylor, Kaylee Fontenot, I guess that's the last name, and Taylor Broussard had exclusive custody of their child since her birth. Police obtained arrest warrants for both parents on charges of first-degree murder, cruelty to juveniles, and second-degree battery, and that's it. First-degree murder, cruelty to juveniles, and second-degree battery. Let me pull their ages up here again so I can tell y'all exactly how old they are. Kaylee Faye Fontenot is 20 years old. Taylor, the idiot on the right-hand side, is 19 years old. So for anybody who knows me well enough, y'all know what I'm about to do. I've been saying this, and I said there is no effing reason for any woman under the age of 25 years old to produce children. There is no effing way that a man at 19 years old should be a father. Men should not be fathers under the age of 30 years old. And maybe we might need to push that back further. 35 actually sounds like a much better, more mature, more financially mature, more mentally mature age. Right? Men's finances should be better by that age, by the age of 30 to 35. They should be mentally more ready. They should be more mature. An immature man could just be flat out immature, but he should be more ready by that age. What the hell is this fool? What do these fools know about raising a baby at 19 and 20 years old when they don't even know how to wipe their butts correctly in a bath? They don't even know how to take care of their own hygiene. They probably don't know how to keep a house clean. They probably don't know how to keep a roof over their head. They probably have not proven that they know how to keep a job. What do you think that they do for a living? Do y'all think that they probably actually live on their own, or do y'all think they live off somebody else at 19 and 20 years old? They're not ready. They're too young. They're too stupid. I think that maybe if you gave them more time, maybe this will be a different situation. This shit looks cute. It looks cute. Taking pictures with your little cute little baby. Everybody giving you attention and all of that. But I'm here to tell y'all, and y'all and anybody in the chat who's a parent, y'all can attest to this. Life gets real when you put this goddamn phone down and that baby crying. That baby needs something. That baby can't talk. That baby can't walk. The baby can't do anything for itself. And you have to sit there and do guesswork with no help, no training book, no nothing. Figure it out. That can get stressful. But this is not a dog. This is not a turtle. This is not a goldfish. This is a little girl that could have grown up to become anything. And I'm sorry, I am a father who is the father of two 18-year-old children. My daughter will be 19 this year. I've lived it, especially from the moment that they were born. I kept both of my kids together quite a bit when they were infant, newborn babies. So I've lived this experience, and I'm telling you, at age 24, I still wasn't ready. Do y'all hear me? Can anybody else put their hand up in the chat and y'all can attest to that? How many of y'all can be real and say at the age that you had your first kid, you weren't ready? I'm not embarrassed to do that because when my life is done on this earth, people can go back and watch my videos and you can hear me say these words, and this is eternal, this is forever. And y'all can hear me say that the way that I did it I could have better served my kids if I would have waited. When I was more financially prepared and more emotionally ready to take care of kids. I did okay. And okay being at the bottom, just all right. I was an all right dad. Could have been so much better. Police obtained arrest warrants for both parents and charging them on first-degree murder, cruelty to juveniles, and second-degree battery. The mom, Fontenot, was taken into custody, police said, but Broussard remained at large for several days following the announcement of the charges. On November the 3rd, police said that Broussard turned himself in and he was booked into the St. Landry Parish Jail. If you suspect child abuse, y'all know about the National Child Abuse Hotline, 800-4-A-CHILD, 800-422-4453, or childhelp.org. All calls are free, confidential. Hotlines available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in more than 170 languages. So as long as you can speak, you can help a child. If you see something, say something. Let me give you guys the fair usage.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
You're saying her last name is Fontenot. I'm saying Fontenot. I didn't do that intentionally, but I guess I can make a little bit of a joke out of it, make a little bit of light of it. but Fontenot, because this is not what you want in a mother in any of these parents, okay? But y'all do me a favor, hit that thumbs up if you agree. Type a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. We are just getting this thing started. Shout out to Law and Crime. And let's take a listen to a little bit of what they had to say.
All right, let's dive into this one. We all know at this point, if you watch this show or any of the others that we have here on Law and Crime, that social media really only tells part of the story when talking about someone. And often the story that it's telling is very far from the truth. And that is what it appears that we're dealing with here in this story that we're following out of Louisiana involving the couple you see here. Their names, Kaylee Fontenot and Taylor Broussard. Now, this young couple, it appears they got engaged at the end of 2024 per social media, Taylor proposing to Kaylee on a waterfront. Now, the couple lives in Opelousas, Louisiana. We're talking about a small town, a far cry from the streets of New Orleans, has about 15,000 people, and it's an hour west of Baton Rouge. Now, this couple got engaged, and then what happened next was they became parents. In August of this year, it appears they welcomed their baby girl. Her name, Alora Faye Broussard. This is a picture of the proud parents in the hospital with this little girl. So here is what I'm talking about when we talk about a social media perception. You have images portraying really that perfect young couple taking on the challenges and joys of parenthood, but just 2 months into that little girl's life, that perception came crashing down. All right, it was Saturday, October 25th, around 8 o'clock in the morning, that police were called to a home on North Liberty Street. Young Alora Faye wasn't breathing. This was a medical emergency and firefighters needed to act fast. They say they tried life-saving measures on the girl. They rushed her to the hospital, but that 2-month-old, just 2 months, she didn't make it. You never hope a parent would ever have to go through losing a child. Alora died that day, October 25th. Her dad, Taylor Broussard, posted on Facebook, quote, "My baby girl, my twin, and my beautiful little angel. I don't even know where to start. I'm so broken. I miss you every second of the day. You were so much like me and your mother combined. You loved to ride in the car just like me. You had your mom's attitude with my facial expressions. You're gorgeous just like your mother. Daddy misses you so much. I can barely think right now. I'm so lost in words at the moment. This still doesn't feel real. I just can't believe this could happen to my beautiful baby girl. Until we meet again, rest in peace, my angel." He posted that on October 29th. That was 4 days after his daughter died. It's obviously a very emotional post, and it's frankly deserving of the thoughts and prayers that went into the comments section. But then the autopsy came back of what authorities say really happened to young Alora. The autopsy showed that Alora was the victim of abuse and neglect during her 2-month life. So young, so short. The autopsy found that she was extremely dehydrated and malnourished. It went on to say that she had broken rib bones and some showed signs of healing, meaning that it appears that she was not just the victim of abuse one time, that she had injuries that were healing at different times compared to other injuries on her body, according to police. Now, she also had a severed lower spine, and that resulted in internal bleeding, and according to police, that is the 2-month-old's cause of death. Police also say, quote, "Through interviews, investigators identified the parents as Kaylee Fontenot and Taylor Broussard and learned that the child had been in their exclusive custody since birth." Now, it did stand out to me that police said that it took them interviews to identify the baby's parents. Does that mean that it was just a procedural issue to find out that they were the baby's parents, or were they not home at the time all of this happened? There's still a lot of details to this story that police say they're investigating, and they have yet to release information about. Arrest warrants were issued for both parents to face charges of first-degree murder, cruelty to juveniles, and second-degree battery. When police put out a news release on Facebook, this was on its Facebook page, Halloween, October 31st, around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they said that Kaylee Fontenot was in custody, but her fiance, Taylor Broussard, he was still at large. And it wasn't until November 3rd, days later, that police say Taylor Broussard turned himself into the county jail. He and his fiance, they are facing the same charges, and that includes first-degree murder. Now, again, there's still a lot that we do not know about this case, about the specifics that police say happened inside that home, how their daughter got those alleged injuries? We don't know at this point, and it seems that law enforcement is still trying to put together the pieces. But they do say,
in order to cause a severed spine, that takes an incredibly stupid level of parenting. That is just beyond abusive. That's just cruel. Yeah, so you heard that right.
that, again, this couple, they were the only ones who had cared for that 2-month-old in the 2 months that she was alive. Police say that this is an ongoing investigation, and the local chief posted on Facebook, quote, "Our hearts are with this infant who suffered unimaginable abuse. This case is in its early stages, and our investigators are working tirelessly to uncover every detail. We ask the public for patience, cooperation, and assistance in helping us pursue justice."
Also breaking here on News 15 at 6, it's a case of abuse Opelousas police call unimaginable. Parents charged with the murder of their 2-month-old child. The infant's mother, Kaylee Fontenot, is being held in the St. Landry Parish Jail. In addition to murder, she's charged with child cruelty and battery. Police tonight are searching for the baby's father, Taylor Broussard. He's wanted on the same charges. Police say they found the baby not breathing at a home on North Liberty Street in Opelousas.
So they've caught him as of this video. So if you're wondering about that particular update, he is in custody.
When they responded to a medical emergency, the police chief tells us the 2-month-old suffered from severe dehydration, malnourishment, and physical abuse that resulted in broken ribs, a severed spine, and internal bleeding.
You know, this is a case that is very emotionally stressful for a police officer to investigate, especially dealing with an infant, an infant who's depending on people to take care of them.
Now, if you have any information on the whereabouts of the baby's father, Taylor Broussard, you're asked to call Opelousas Police.
So in closing, like I say, I know a lot of time people wonder why I share my thoughts. More than anything, that's kind of the entire point of this, is if there's a way that we can teach and maybe make the next generation, maybe help someone prevent this type of thing from happening. Yes, we're going to speak on this, okay? So I'm going to speak from my experience as a father, as a young father, from a man's perspective, and really even coming from a family that saw my mom and dad raise, be married, have kids under one roof, and take care of foster kids, and it's a large responsibility. At the end of the day, if you're 19 and 20 years old, having children shouldn't even be on your mind. Going to school, learning how to take care of yourself, learning about you, going through some relationships. You're going to go through multiple relationships, right? Don't have kids. Ladies, if you're under the age of 25 years old, there's no reason for you to be thinking about having kids. And men, fellas, tell these young folks, man, like stress it to them. There's no reason for them to have kids, right? The time is going to come for that. So get yourself in order, prepare a place so that when you're ready, when the time is right, you can give that child the best life. If you really love kids, then give them the time when the time is right. But thank you guys so much for listening to this story. RIP to that beautiful little baby. Let me see if I can get that baby back up on the screen. And this baby just did not stand a chance that I know any of us out there would have loved to give this baby every opportunity to grow up and become something great, okay? But thank you so much for giving this baby a voice and the respect that this baby deserves, okay? Thank you guys so much for listening. So let's go to our next story here. So we're going to do 6 stories, so we're going to do 5 more if you guys have time to stick with me. I'm going to try to keep these brief because some of these I got a lot to say about. I tried to subscribe, but it wouldn't go through. It says error. Well, look, if you're able to type in the chat, you actually are subscribed, Don, so you're good to go. Unless you're talking about the channel membership, unless you're talking about that might be a different problem. But if you're talking about just subscribing to the channel, you should be good because I can see you in there. So let me know which one you're talking about, and maybe I can see if I can help with that. Uh-oh. I hit that button way too many times. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Ash. Look, if you can, find out what she's trying to subscribe to. Maybe we can kind of help out with that. Maybe it's just something informational. All right, let's talk about what law. This is coming from Law and Crime also. I'm very thankful. I was able to find a lot of pictures, a lot of information on this story. I'm going to do my best to try to keep it brief. Let me see if I can get these pictures up here. I continue to stress this for people who do not want to be parents, who do not want to be caretakers. This is not the route that you go. You don't have to do this. If you go this route, to all the people involved that made this happen, that made this possible, I have zero sympathy for whatever the courts decide needs to happen, because this is ridiculous. It is terrible. It sucks. And I think people like this deserve the worst penalties possible. We'll maybe even talk about a couple of those options that I wish they were on the table. So if I happen to use some strong language, I don't want to offend nobody. This is intended for mature audiences, okay? So you have been warned about that. Let's get into it.
Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, new website articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer.
And of course, one of my favorite sources for news is Law and Crime, so shout out to Law and Crime. One of the last people to donate in Cash App. I'm sorry I did not catch it. So let me say thank you, Deborah Dora, and thank you to Laquita. So if you guys are in the chat, and Ella was one of the last ones in there, along with Reej and Yvonne J. Thank y'all for showing some love over there in Cash App, okay? So if you guys were to stay with if you were growing up and you were staying with a family member, who do you think you could trust? You would think, because I always thought this, because I actually got a chance to meet my great-grandparents and my grandmother, both of my grandmothers, my mom and my dad's mom, and they were just amazing, awesome people. I would never think that I would meet my demise at the hands of a grandparent. Come on now. Do I have any black people in the chat that can testify to that? Do I have any white people in the chat that could testify? You would never think that your grandparent would do some effed up stuff to you or any other kid. You're actually depending on them, that they had the experience, they've been there, done that, and they'll be able to do you right. You would never think, thank you, you would never think they do no vile stuff. There is a 50-year-old grandmother, just barely older than me, 50-year-old grandmother in Louisiana. So Louisiana's taking a second L today. Has been arrested for her role in an October 2025 house fire. This is a grandmother involved in a house fire. Y'all hear me? That left 2 young girls dead. So if we're talking, look at these angels here. If we're going to talk about Black Lives Matter, how many people believe Black Lives Matter? Because I do. Yes, I totally do. Black lives do matter. But why is it that so many times that when I do my stories, black people don't seem to value the black lives? Strange, ain't it? I want y'all to notice when I read this story and read the details, how many black lives are lost in this story that will never get a march, will never get a protest, and will never get a law put into their name. I want y'all to mark my words on that. Rita Ann Montgomery was taken into custody. Let me see if I can get that person's face back up on the screen. I believe that is who that is, right? She's sitting there looking straight up like a brother of mine, I guess. Rita Ann Montgomery was taken into custody this week and charged with a slew of crimes, including 2 counts of second-degree murder, aggravated arson, criminal conspiracy, and manufacturing and possessing a delayed action incendiary device. An incendiary device. How many times do we ever say that on this channel? Incendiary device. Authorities identified the victims as 8-year-old Aaliyah Robinson, those angels y'all just saw on my screen, and 5-year-old Danielle Spearman, both of whom were Montgomery's grandchildren and lived in the home with her. Let me say that again. So we're going to get into a little bit of digging into this. They lived with her. So what does that mean if they live with her? I want anybody who knows what I mean by this. Y'all been watching me long enough. So I want y'all to answer in the chat. If they live with her, what does that mean? And while we're doing that, let me say thank you to Woke the God, showing some love in the chat. So thank you, Jay, for all your hard work. So I'm late for the live stream. These stories are horrific, but thank you for sharing these baby stories. Thank you, Woke the God. Much love, big hugs. Thank you. Truly appreciate that. So what does that mean? And thank you, Marie, over there in the Cash App. If you're listening, thank you very much. Shout out to Marie. I see you. Thank you. That means that the parents, the biological mother and biological father of both of these girls, whoever that is, however you want to split that up, were not taking care of their kids. Does it happen? Yes. Do we need help sometimes? Yes. But I believe that as parents, including myself, so if I'm pointing the finger at them, I can point the finger at myself. Us as parents, if we have kids and we are not prepared to be parents, we are failing our kids. There is no reason for somebody else outside of the two that laid down to produce these beautiful angels, these beautiful black queens, these black princesses. Yes? No reason for anybody else to be raising them. They shouldn't be in the foster care system. They shouldn't be raised by grandma. They shouldn't be raised by Uncle John or whoever the hell. They should be raised by the people who laid down and chose to bring them in this world. So that already is a huge red flag right there. So was this grandmother doing this for the good and the betterment of the kids? Well, I don't know, because it seems like she don't like kids. I don't know. I don't think she did it out of love. What is that term now? I forget. Can y'all help me? What is that term? I used to have all of these hashtags to explain situations like this. Do y'all remember? Do I have any hashtags about this? Oh yeah, I do. Hashtag babies for benefits. I have a t-shirt that says that too. If y'all want to buy it, links in the description box. So that means these people only took custody of these kids in order to gain whatever benefits off of them that they can get, whether it be Section 8, food stamps, car vouchers, housing, or even child support, or even attention. Whatever it is, that was their motivation for taking these kids on. Because clearly it wasn't because you loved them and cared for them and wanted to help them grow up and become something great. Because they're dead and you participated in their demise in the worst effing way possible. Everybody catch that? So there's no way I can be wrong about what I'm saying, because they're not here. And multiple people played a role in this. A second suspect, a second fool. Let's go back, because I think that might have been the second fool. Let's go back. 45-year-old Alonza Cooksey was also charged in connection with the deadly blaze and is facing 1 count each of contributing to the delinquency of juveniles and engaging in prohibited activities and sanctions. Cooksey also lived in the home where the children died. At 45 years old, I'm not sure what part they play in that, whether that was her man or her woman. I don't know. These charges reflect the seriousness of this case and the gravity of the harm it caused, Fire Chief Clarence Reese Jr. said during a news conference. Not only to those individuals and their family, but also to the community. I want to be very clear. This arrest is a result of a long, careful, and evidence-driven investigation. Now, according to a report from the Shreveport Times, the deadly fire occurred in the early morning hours of October the 13th of 2025 at a home in the 3100 block of Milton Street, which is about 250 miles northwest of Baton Rouge. 3 adults and 5 children were inside the house when the fire began, but 2 victims were unable to escape, which were the 2 girls. Investigators with the Shreveport Police Department said the blaze likely began as 2 separate fires. One set at the back of the home around midnight, and the other set in the front about 1:45 a.m. Two separate fires at 2 separate times that night. They wanted these kids gone. For what? It's certainly nothing that them babies did. Them babies didn't deserve that. They did nothing to deserve that. Reese said investigators are still unsure about the possible motive, emphasizing that guessing would not help the investigation at this point. I just think they're just evil people and they didn't want to take care of these kids. They just wanted to collect the benefits. That is very simple. That is very plausible, and that's super simple to figure out. It's just based on their actions. The chief did clarify that investigators believe the device, the quote-unquote device, used to start the fire was a Molotov cocktail, which takes a little bit of knowing how to do, which he said was a homemade device that you throw at a home and it catches everything on fire. This has been an incredibly complex and emotionally difficult investigation. Our arson investigators have remained committed from day one to uncovering the truth and seeking justice for Aaliyah and Danielle. While nothing can undo this tragic loss, we hope that these arrests provide some measure of accountability and reassurance to our community. On October 2025, a 15-year-old male was arrested. A 15-year-old male, you said Happy Black History Month. Man, where's Black Lives Matter when you need them? This is how we are representing ourselves. A 15-year-old male was arrested and charged with the murders, but the following month, a grand jury in Cato Parish declined to indict the teen due to a lack of evidence. Okay, so initially they were saying, I think another kid of hers was responsible for doing this, but now they're saying that the grandmother's responsible and the other guy some type of way. I don't really know how. Authorities said additional warrants have been issued for Sharika Spearman and Bobby Grant, who are related to the victims, on charges of contributing to the delinquency of a minor. It was not immediately clear when the defendants were scheduled to appear in court. So all in all, how many Black lives have we lost? You said Black Lives Matter is on vacation with donation funds. Isn't that something? And that's actually a real statement too. They took that money. They didn't even go to the victims. That money went to their personal pocket and personal expenses when they used the names of victims to collect and say, we're going to help get people out of jail and we're going to help advocate for the victims, and the victims never got a damn thing. But I digress. How many Black lives have we lost in this one story? 2 girls, plus the grandmother, plus the other guy, plus 2 more people. And almost a 7th person, but that person was taken off the list. 6 Black lives either going to the grave or going to prison. all the time people want to talk about George Floyd. How many of these other names? I used to have them written down. Dante Wright, Ahmaud Arbery, Alton Sterling, Walter Scott, Rashard Brooks, Breonna Taylor, Stephon Clark, Malia, right? What's the other one? I forget her name. That she took herself out. I forget her name. We're not gonna bring it up right now. But we tend to celebrate all of those people. And this one situation that these people wanted these little girls dead so bad that we are losing 6 lives either to prison or to the grave. And that is going to be ignored. It is not going to be a footnote in history. This is not going to be written about. Nobody's going to talk about this after I end this saga. And once we find out how much time these people get in prison, nobody will ever speak it up. Nobody will ever speak of it again. And I just think it's sick because this happens all the time.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
If y'all can, do me a favor and please hit that thumbs up, leave a comment in the chat, let me know what you guys think. If I'm wrong about something, let me know. I don't mind y'all typing your comments in there. I told my moderators, don't block anybody. Let people have their opinions, okay? Here we go.
We have an update on a deadly house fire that killed 2 sisters in Shreveport. Police have arrested 2 people in connection with the fatal house fire on Milton Street. They arrested Rita Montgomery and charged her with second-degree murder, aggravated arson, criminal conspiracy, and multiple other offenses. Alonzo Cooksey was also arrested in the case. Her charges include prohibited activities and contributing to the delinquency of juveniles. The fire happened last year in October. 8-year-old Aaliyah Robinson and 5-year-old Danielle Spearman died after being rescued from that fire. Shreveport Fire Department says their months-long investigation led to the arrest of Montgomery and Cooksey. A few weeks after the fire, a teen was accused of setting the fire and charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder. However, in November, a Caddo grand jury wasn't satisfied with the evidence against him and declined to indict him. The fire department says the investigation into the fire continues, and they plan to release more information later. Fire Chief Clarence Reese Jr. released a statement on the arrest. It reads in part, quote, "Our arson investigators have remained committed from day one to uncovering the truth. We hope these arrests provide some measure of accountability and reassurance to our community," end quote. For more information on the arrests made, please visit KSLA.com or watch KSLA wherever you stream. With KSLA News 12, I'm Kennedy Wells.
2 innocent children who died in a house fire 1 week ago are among 2 other fire deaths the Caddo Parish schools have had to deal with recently. Now the Caddo Parish Public School is opening up about the 4 heartbreaking deaths that they've had to endure. KSLA's Marvin Andrade tells us how that community is mourning.
At 8 years old, Aaliyah Robinson and 5-year-old Danielle Spearman lost their lives in a horrific house fire. Days before the fire, the 2 were playing, running, and enjoying their childhood. And now, Turner Elementary School family is left with just memories of the 2 girls who would fill the classroom with joy.
2 girls that were happy, 2 girls that were very energetic, 2 girls, especially a 2nd grader, who loved coming to school, and it's just such a tragic loss.
As elementary mourns the loss of these 2 rays of sunshine, they say the school has had a lot of suffering they've had to deal with in recent months. Around 6 months ago, the school lost Sister Nevia Gardner, 5 years old, and Tyona Gardner, 7 years old, also in a house fire.
And I am hurt. I'm hurt. To have 4 sweet girls to go within less than 6 months behind a fire.
One Turner Elementary teacher is suffering losses from 6 months ago and again now. Principal Dr. Daryl Webb is making sure that teacher has the support and resources she needs.
As of right now, she's doing well. She told me she's doing as good as she can be right now. But once again, those are babies that she have to look at an empty seat every day and see that the child's not there. And so right now, she's doing okay, but we're expecting that she may need some counseling from time to time.
And as the school deals with these tragedies, they want to make sure the children get a proper memorial service.
But what I'm here for now is to see that they be buried the way they are angels. I want them to be buried right with the funeral.
The school district is asking for public to donate whatever they can to help cover the cost of services. For details on how to help, visit our website at ksla.com. Reporting.
Good evening and thanks for joining us on Fox 33. I'm Dan Jovic, in for your lead 2 children. It's our top story tonight. Office sharing more. Melody?
Yeah, earlier today, the Shreveport Fire Department held a press conference announcing the arrests of Rita Montgomery and Alonza Cooksey. Now, these arrests were made following the investigation from the fatal house fire on Milton Street back in October that claimed the lives of the 2 sisters, Alea Robinson and Danielle Spearman. Fire Chief Clarence Reese says this is a tragic incident with family members involved.
On yesterday, we arrested 2 of those individuals. One of those individuals is the grandmother of those kids, who is being charged for second-degree murder, 2 counts of second-degree murder, along with about 5 other charges: criminal conspiracy, delinquency of juveniles, and secondary devices. So that individual, 2 individuals were arrested on yesterday and have been booked by fire investigators. This investigation is still going on. It's still fluid. There are 2 more arrest warrants that are out there right now, and depending on what is said during this investigation, there may be more arrests coming.
Arrests are made in a deadly fire. Spearman. The Shreveport Fire Department says their months-long investigation led to the arrest of 2 people. 50-year-old Rita Montgomery is charged with second-degree murder, aggravated arson, criminal conspiracy, and multiple other offenses. 45-year-old Alonza Cooksey was also arrested in this case. Her charges include prohibited activities and contributing to the delinquency of juveniles. You may remember a few weeks after the fire, a teen was accused of setting the fire and charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder. However, in November, a Caddo grand jury wasn't satisfied with the evidence against him and declined to indict him. The fire department said the investigation into the fire continues. We're told they'll release more information at a later news conference. And in the release on the updated arrest, Fire Chief Clarence Reese Jr. said, quote, "This has been an incredibly complex and emotionally difficult investigation. Our arson investigators have remained committed from day one to uncovering the truth and seeking justice for Alea and Danielle. While nothing can undo this tragic loss, we hope these arrests provide some measure of accountability and reassurance to our community."
And y'all notice how they went out of their way to make sure and end these girls' lives, like multiple fires that were set at different times. And y'all do me a favor, if y'all are watching, please hit that thumbs up. We want to have at least 1 thumb up for everybody watching. If y'all do that for us, that'd be awesome to help share these stories. And these little girls, look, man, if I could make more of me, if I could have like more of me in each state, I would have loved to have taken custody of these girls, and I promise you, they wouldn't have had to worry about nothing. They could have grown up and become something great. At least had the opportunity to do that, man. This is just crazy. Like, if you did not want these kids and all you want to do was abuse them, you didn't have to take custody of them. It's ridiculous. So I hope that the evidence and information comes out on this, because I think we're definitely going to do a part 2 on this. So when we get the real nitty gritty, when they start going through court and discovery, and we get the details, I think we need to do a part 2 to this. What y'all think about that? I think these babies deserve a part 2 all the way to the end to find out what really happened in this story. So to those angels, let me see if I get their pictures back up on the screen. I want them by themselves. Right here. Young princesses, R.I.P. So I thank you guys so much for listening to their story. Please make sure you guys share this story. Find it here on the AFC podcast. We'll definitely do an update, okay? Thank you.